About a month ago, there was a sort of a business town hall. Wasn't anything official. It was a bunch of businesses in Seattle, particularly the Ballard neighborhood, getting together and discussing some of their concerns. They invited local council members down there. They invited the mayor. Only Sarah Nelson showed up because she's the only council member who cares about the business community and about anybody who lives or works or even visits Seattle. And they got together because they were sick and tired of inaction on these issues of crime impacting them. Well, nothing's changed. Month in, despite promises to address the issue, not only has nothing changed, it's gotten worse. Another business, as part of this group, ended up getting hit. One of the owners, or two of the owners, talked to Como TV, Sip and Ship. Said someone broke a window, ended up going into their business, stealing a whole bunch of stuff, and then running off. And of course, they're not caught. They're still out there. This isn't the first time this has happened. And they spoke with Paul Rivera from Como.
Is that what it's going to take to do business in Seattle, to have to turn your store into a fortress, basically?
Leading question.
I think so. I mean, I've seen
Feels
businesses
like that, but we hope not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen businesses put up the gates, in the front of their windows.
Yeah, you're going to have to do that. That is the truth. It was a leading question. God bless Paul. But he's right. He's 100% correct. You do have... The reason why it feels like you have to turn your business into a fortress is because you have to turn your business into a fortress. If you want to prevent people from breaking in, you're going to have to go the route of that Ace hardware store. Where was that? Greenwood or Green Lake? I can't remember.
It was Green Lake.
It was Green Lake. I mean, they put up a gate that was impenetrable. It's remarkable. Cars were busting in and they couldn't get past the gate. That's what you're going to have to do. Now, is that the best for most businesses? No. Probably scare some customers off, but that's the truth. The reason they're going to have to do that is because the city does not have a plan. They do not care. Sorry. Other than Councilmember Sarah Nelson, they do not care. Their own council member, the one that represents them, Dan Strauss, does not care. Here's what he suggested. After all of this, after all the break-ins that have been going on for 2+ years, he said, we need to have a task force. We have to bring together community members and city leadership, and we're going to have to try to get a better idea about what's happening on the ground. You don't know what's happening on the ground? Seriously, you have no clue what's happening on the ground? How do I know more about Ballard, a community I never visit? How do I know more about Ballard than you, the dude who's in charge, the guy who's supposed to represent them?
Basically, any department that touches on public safety, we work to coordinate with. And it's important to keep these meetings going regularly.
Why? What is the meeting doing? What are you talking about? You know exactly what the issue is. Crime is out of control. Homelessness is out of control. You're doing literally nothing to end it. You're doing nothing to address it. You're doing nothing to arrest criminals. You're doing nothing to build up the Seattle Police Department. All you're doing is giving us another meeting to attend. These are business owners. These are people who are already busy, and you're just telling them to go to a meeting so they can tell you exactly what they told you last month or last week for you to say, oh, that's great. Let's continue the conversation at our next meeting. It's why folks like Stephen Aramore, one of the co-owners, he's like, I'm done with the talk.
We need them to come up with some solutions and put them forward, instead of keep talking about them.
Yeah, that's what they do really, really well, talk. Bruce Harrell, the mayor of Seattle, very, very good at just talking. Talking, not doing anything that he says he's going to do, but just talking about what he might do in some distant future.
And under our administration, quite honestly, we're having these difficult conversations. No person should be able to wake up and have their windows smashed. It's as simple as that.
I agreed. So what are you going to do about it? I love that people say, no one deserves this. Okay, great. I think we're already on that same page. So now what? Well, no one deserves it. No, I got it. I got it. So what are you going to do to ensure that they don't have to suffer through that again? I'm going to work hard to make sure that no one suffers through this again. Now, again, but what is specifically are you going to do? A plan. What does the plan entail? A step-by-step guide to how we're going to tackle this problem. Okay, what's the first step? We're going to have a meeting. Oh my God. Okay, what's the second step? Well, we're going to have to probably have another meeting. Okay, what's step 7? Let's just go all the way to step 7 on your plan to tackle the crime crisis. Well, at that point, it's going to be up to the group in that meeting to come up with the other plans, with all their other steps. So you don't really have anything to propose. I do not. But I do like to talk. Here's a press release saying I don't like where this crime crisis is headed, but I won't commit either way to doing anything specific. Thank you. That's very helpful. That's Seattle.